All right, we're back on the El Camino. This video is going to be short and sweet. The plan is to get that firewall back there stripped down, get all that rust off, get it treated with a product called Rust Mort, neutralizes the rust in case I miss any. Get a second coat of black on this frame. I decided I didn't like the semi-gloss, so I'm going to go with a satin. And there's a couple of areas that I got lazy on the prep, so went ahead and resanded those areas. I installed the motor mounts. So I could just go ahead and paint those at the same time. Yeah, so I'm hoping the wind stays kind of at a minimum today, so maybe it turns out a little bit better. Let's get going on this firewall, see if I can get this rust stripped off. So I picked up a couple of these guys. They're supposed to be good for rust and paint. We're gonna see how good they work. I kind of did a little test right here, just real quick. It looks like it kind of gouges up the metal, but it you know, it's smooth enough to paint over. I don't think those scratches are gonna show, but we're gonna find out together. If it looks like crap, oh well. This is a budget build. Actually, no, I take that back. I'll probably be pretty upset and I'll have to sand it and then recoat it, but we're gonna see what happens. All right, well, let's get into it. It's safety sometimes around here. I guess today I'll wear a mask. Done. All right, this is the product I'm using here. It's called Rust Mort, SEM brand. There's probably other companies that make similar products, but this is stuff that is available at my local paint supply, and this is stuff I like to use. Got a little Scotch-Brite pad here. I like to put a spray bottle top on this. This doesn't come like this. Usually you brush this stuff on or wipe it on with a rag, let it sit. It's supposed to convert rust to a primable surface, but it also just eats the rust and takes it away as well if it's light enough. So a lot of this stuff should go away. We're gonna see. Let me move this so I don't get acid in there. You try to wear gloves, long sleeves, because this stuff is an acid. And this should eat off the really light rust that we left and neutralize the heavier stuff. You might be able to already see it's kind of turning more silver. Scotch-Brite pad kind of helps along the way sometimes. Speed up the process. It's always good to use a product like this that neutralizes rust, because even if you sand it off, it's still there, like on a microscopic level, and it's just gonna come back again. So if you're gonna do spend a bunch of time and money doing body work, hit it with a rust conversion product like this. Then again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a dude that builds cars in his mom's backyard, so. All right, let that sit for a while, let it do its thing. Let me just show you exactly up close here. Any rust that was left is kind of just gone now. A little bit's in here. But the longer this stuff sits, the more it eats it away and disappears. Over here, there's some that I couldn't really get. But once again, this stuff is designed to just spray on rust and then neutralize it so you can paint over it. But I like to use it so that all the rust disappears entirely and it's gone before I paint. But it just helps give you that peace of mind that it got all the, neutralize all the stuff that's in the nooks and crannies that you couldn't get. Leave this stuff on for another half an hour before I wipe it down. And let me do a little, show you what it'll do over here. I'm just gonna leave that on there. We'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. I wiped it down. It's clean, prepped, rust neutralized, ready for paint or primer. Here's a spot on the door I sprayed. It's been sitting about the same amount of time. You can already see that one spot. It's down in bare metal where everything else is still orange around it. Look at that difference. It's just 5-10 minutes. I mean, obviously you want to get this thicker, chunkier stuff off with a wire wheel or something if you can, but if you just got light surface rust like this stuff's amazing. So the plan is for the rest of the car, this thing was taken down in bare metal and then just sat outside for a period of time. So I did some of it over here already, you can see. The rest of it I'm gonna grind all the rust down. I'll take this tailgate down in bare metal, the other side of the car. I'll get it sprayed with the rust mort, neutralized, and get this whole thing in white epoxy primer before I start any body work. I'll probably weld up these holes that don't belong here from some past body work. I'll weld up all of those first before I primer it. As well as these holes up here where some tie downs were that people put on trucks. I hate those things. Yeah, that'll be for another video though. Today I'm concentrating on getting this firewall painted. Next time I come up here, I'll take the rest of this thing down to metal and get it prepped and ready for epoxy primer. So let me do a little bit more cleanup, and then I'll get another coat on this frame. There's a couple spots I missed. You still see the primer there. Just wanted to get another nice coat on this thing just so it looks good. I installed the motor mounts, so I'll get those painted black as well. Just set up the camera here on the tripod, and you guys can watch me paint for a little while. All right, once again, I'm using only the finest products on this vehicle. Rust-Oleum, $16 a quart. I sprayed the frame with semi-gloss black last weekend, and I just felt it was too shiny, so I'm gonna try satin black. This is my friend sprayed his whole car with this stuff years ago, and it looked amazing. Everybody would ask him what he painted it with, and he's like, $16 rust shit. Back then it was probably $8 a quart, but yeah, sprayed it with Rust-Oleum. And although I'm using this stuff because it's cheap, I actually really enjoy this stuff. I sprayed this on a firewall of a Nova I had, and the whole front inner fenders, and I was really impressed with how well it held up to brake clean and gas and everything else, and like didn't chip. It was kind of great, and it's cheap. So let's go. You know what? I'm just gonna dump this whole damn thing in here, because I can just put whatever I use right back in the can, and it's ready to spray next time. Once again, I'm thinning it with acetone. I'm gonna pour it in here first, get every drop out of this thing. I'm kind of just guesstimating on the ratio. Thin it till I like it. Last week I went with a 4-to-1, or last video rather, I went with a 4-to-1, and actually I felt like that was too thick. If you go online and look this up, everybody's all over the place. It's like 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 1-to-1. You just thin it to where you like it, and you're not going to get runs in it. Paint usually is about the consistency of water to spray out of a gun, at least with a 4.1 tip, or I'm sorry, 1.4 tip. 4.1 would be huge. It's not bad. Where are we at here? Well, it's about 48 ounces, 32 ounces a quart. I'm at 48 ounces, so that'd be like a 2-to-1 mix ratio. You can check my math in the comments. It's probably wrong. Yeah, not bad. Let me go grab my Harbor Freight, handy dandy Harbor Freight paint gun. I did not even wash this thing since the last time I used it. This is one of those use it a few times then just toss it kind of things. I just put a little bit of acetone in here and kept it wet. And I did check it, it does still spray. And it has a nice spray pattern too, it's not all messed up. I brought some spray filters, some paint filters with me here too. Might as well use them. Not these, they're dirty as hell. There we go. These just keep any chunks out of your spray gun that may have fallen into or you didn't mix well. Mix this bad boy up, fill it up all the way. That there. All right, see how this goes. I'm already spilling shit, making a mess. All right, another coat on the frame. Should really be wearing a respirator for this, but last time I didn't wear anything, so this is a vast improvement. I made the fan a little bit smaller, so that way I'm not wasting as much paint on this narrow frame. But I do run the risk of getting more drips and runs. Just gotta be careful. I'm gonna try to hit all the areas that I missed first, and then go back and just fog the whole thing. All right, frame is good enough. Now I'm gonna move on to this firewall. If you press part of the way on the trigger, it only blows air and not paint, not material. So I'm just using this kind of just blow off any dust or overspray from this. Might have got on it. All right, that's one coat down on the firewall. I'll probably do a second. I don't know, maybe I should save some of that paint for my rear end and stuff. If I really want this to look factory, I'll put some runs in it. But yeah, not bad. If this wind stays at a minimum. I shouldn't get too much crap landing in it. And this will dry to a nice satin finish. The frame, which is already out in the sun, is already drying. Walk around here, I'll show you the front. The part that really matters. I like this satin finish a lot more than I did the semi-gloss. Good enough. Once again, if you got the budget, powder coat is nice because somebody else does the work, not you. But if you're on a budget or you're just cheap like I am, you can always wire wheel it. You know, hell, if you can have it sandblasted and then do this process, you'll be even better. Not bad. Firewall, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry because there's no sun on it. But there's no runs. That's good. A little bit of dust in the paint, but since it's satin finish, hopefully that stuff will disappear. Nice. All right, that's gonna be it for this one. Firewall's done, very happy with it. And on the next one, I think I'm gonna try and strip the rest of this body down to the bare metal, get it ready for epoxy primer. I don't think I'll be ready completely done next weekend, but we'll see how far I can get. At least get it stripped, get it neutralized with the rust mort, rust inhibitor, and go from there. Maybe in about a week I can get this thing sprayed down with epoxy primer. Stay tuned if you want to see that.